And I think the idea here is that you'd be doing something you normally would be doing already, to where you're not having to spend hours in your day doing something you normally wouldn't be doing, like a job. That's the whole idea here. I mean, to make a video or to tell people, yeah, 5 ways to live on a Social Security budget, and then tell them go get a job. I mean, you know. So the whole idea is that you'd be doing something that you're already doing or want to be doing. 5 ways to live well on a Social Security budget.
Okay, well, they can house sit.
All right, so house sitting. I mean, there's people that house sit. Now, a person, you know, I know that you're going to start putting up barriers, you know. You're going, but you got to travel, you got to go, you know. Yes, but you can focus on a geographical area, right? You can make a study out of this, put a circle on a map of how far you're willing or able to go, and you may not find as many opportunities. On the other hand, it depends on the area you're in. If there's more property owners that travel, and if not, you could maybe move to an area like that. So one thing is house sitting, and you can alternate house sitting with living in your tiny house or travel trailer or whatever, or you can try to house sit all the time, which would probably be more challenging. Number 2.
Well, number 2 is how they would live rent-free in the United States, is they would contact real estate agents, and they would fix up these houses, or people that are selling their houses and want to rent them out or whatever.
So you're saying do what? Live in a fixer?
Yeah, it has to be livable.
All right, so the platform way nowadays, it's all about platforms. People come up with platform ideas. The platform way of this idea is work away. There's a work away, and there's different outfits now. It's not just work away, but it's a platform where people are able to meet. That there's people with property that need work done to it, and then there's people that are willing to travel and stay at the property and be willing to exchange work for staying there. Can work. You just have to find the right setup. You don't have to do work away. Although they have a system there where people can check your feedback and make sure. The other way is to try to get to know people in your area and have references and a good reputation, which I would say would be something to work towards building up. Number 3.
Well, number 3 is you could, and this is for abroad or staying in your home country, because they always need people to walk their dogs, and you could make extra money walking people's dogs.
Okay, so you're saying that people can do something they enjoy, like walking, but do it and earn money while they're, like we're walkers, right?
Yeah, we should be walking people's dogs for them right now.
We could be walking people's dogs and actually make a little extra money. And I think the idea here is that you'd be doing something you normally would be doing already, to where you're not having to spend hours in your day doing something you normally wouldn't be doing, like a job. That's the whole idea here. I mean, to make a video or to tell people, yeah, 5 ways to live on a Social Security budget, and then tell them go get a job. I mean, you know. So the whole idea is that you'd be doing something that you're already doing or want to be doing. So that's an idea. All right, so number 4.
Micro-enterprise.
Micro-enterprise is my favorite. I've used it all my life, once I figured it out. And we've already mentioned and referred to it, but basically it's the same principle as walking the dog, is that your enterprise is symbiotic and syncing with your schedule and your life, and at the same time it's providing for your needs at the same time. The micro-enterprise can be an activity that normally is thought of in a big business, but it has to be sized differently. and it has to be sized smaller so that it can do the job of serving your needs, not the other way around, where you're serving the needs of the enterprise. It's about you wanting to be free and be financially independent earlier, be retired earlier and better by way of being free of your 9 to 5. We literally can make our life fire earlier, fire better by not having to stay in our jobs and put as much money away in investments as we thought we did, by being able to supplement. It's not like you're on this hamster wheel where, no, you got to keep going till, 10 hours. It totally changes how our life stresses and how we perceive the time that we're spending one day at a time on this earth, and how it affects our disposition in life and how we're enjoying life. That's what I'm talking about, enjoying life. Life becomes much more enjoyable when we figure out how to do these things for a lot less time than what people normally do them. And I've been doing this long enough, over 3 decades, that I've migrated from one service to another. I may have started with one service and then slowly moved on to another thing. And so you want things where there's not a lot of competition, and whatever competition there is, there's always going to be some competition, but whatever competition there is, it isn't coming from really low wage workers in other countries kind of thing, and some of these things, maybe there's some encroachment going on now in your area, so it depends on your area. But some of these can be home services: landscaping, outdoor painting, deck staining, pressure washing, concrete cleaning, maid services, home cleaning, carpet cleaning,
appliance repair, air conditioning repair,
air conditioning unit repair. A lot of these can even be done abroad. There's just so many of these that are out there that can be done. There's no particularly, one thing that needs to be focused on, and there's, also many more than what I'm listing here for the sake of brevity on the video. There are seasonal things. I love seasonal. It gives me more time off. All you've got to do is just manage your year-round money, divide it by 12, then save up during the months you're working for the months you're not working. Excellent lifestyle. Fire earlier, retire better. You've got things like photography, catering. You've got personal care you can do. I've always thought about doing mobile haircuts, something you can probably do just about anywhere in the world. So, services is where it's at when it comes to minimizing risk. You may have to buy a few tools, but the cost on those can be minimized. It is possible to sell product from your home nowadays. You can sell on eBay and such, things like that. But again, there's a lot of competition doing it, and you really kind of need to know what you're doing with it. You do need to know what you're doing with services, and in anything you do, you should strive to be super good at it, better than anybody else. And actually, if there's too much competition in the city you're in, you can go away from the big metro competitive area that you're in and go to smaller metro areas and start providing some of these services in those areas.
We also helped expats when we moved to Cuenca.
Real estate,
another one of ours.
Real estate consulting. Yes, there's real estate consulting. I mean, if you want to be a real estate agent in your, in your hometown, you can do that too. You'll have to, go through the licensing and the expense of that and the time of that. It's the most risk-free way of breaking away from the lack of freedom that you have and improving and increasing the speed at which you either are reaching your fire or that you're actually at your fire. Once you're already fired, you have that backdrop. And so for those vloggers out there that are actually successful, that's one micro enterprise. Although I've heard of bloggers that spend 8 to 10 hours a day editing videos. So you have to be careful with that, because once it gets too competitive, it just becomes another job. And number 5 is to live with friends in a loving community. And there's nothing better than finding that community spirit, because there's a lot of community spirit that won't work. It has to be the right fit, and it has to match with your values. And as individualistic as Americans are, there's actually a subculture there that started out in the 70s. They used to call them hippies. I don't think that they ever went anywhere or really worked out. So I think that it has to be, the glue that holds it together has to be more than just people that want to be free. Lots of different types of people with different values want to be free. You have to find the right fit that meshes with your values. All right, and those are 5 ways that you can live super well on a Social Security budget in America, or even abroad if you want. And so I hope you got something out of that. Thanks for coming to our channel. Have a wonderful day.